life. Oh gosh. Oh Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so happy. All right. It is 12:39. 12:39, and it is time for Heart Talk. This is the talk portion of our show. You are tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on kinetichifi.com. It's Feel Good Friday, and I'm feeling good. I think we need to play some Nina Simone or something. I'm telling you, God is really stirring me up, y'all. So expect me to be stirring y'all because it is stirring season. It's getting hot. You know what happens when it gets hot? Particles start moving. That's what heat is all about, friction and moving. And it's time for us to get moving. This portion of the show is brought to you by my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. You can pre-order your copy at theheartconnections.com, theheartconnections.com. I'm so thankful to be in this space with you guys. I'm so thankful to share in this segment of Heart Talk. We're talking about the fear of flying. On a Feel Good Friday, I feel like, you know, I don't think that we understand how much the fear of failure is really holding us back. And I just want to just talk about the fear of flying. I know a lot of people who are afraid of heights. I know a lot of people who have a lot of phobias, and myself included. I'm working through some of those things. But one of the things that I realized is, and I hit on this the last hour, and I want to talk about it a little bit more, is that we have to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. We have to put ourselves out there to fly, even if we don't feel like our wings have developed enough. I want you to be encouraged because I feel like you know, there are too many deterrents from us flying. There are too many deterrents from us setting our wings to do the things that we need to do. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about that today. Maybe you've been doubting yourself. Maybe you just feel like, you know what, it doesn't make sense for me to do this. I have tried. Let me speak a little bit about that. I think that many of us who are afraid to fly are people who have tried before and failed, and it hurt. And that jump video that Steve Harvey did, I was talking to you guys about it. I'm gonna look for it on YouTube and see if that can be our diamond in the rough for today. The One of the things about when you go to fly and you fall, it hurts. Nobody likes to fall and get scraped up. Nobody likes to bruise and break bones and bruise themselves in the process. But that is necessary for us to get to where we need to go. And my thing is, if you're going to be in pain, can your pain not have a purpose? If you're going to have to struggle and fight, can you not be fighting for something that's worth it? If burdens and blessings both carry weight, would you rather carry burdens or blessings? And I feel like many of us are not flying because our burdens are weighing us down. But I just want to let you know that blessings have a weight with them too. You just enjoy carrying that weight more. Don't allow your fear of being productive, your fear of flying to hold you back from being who God has called you to be. On this Feel Good Friday, like I want you to understand how close you are to being to just being the image of yourself that maybe you could only dream or imagine. Do you know that God created that to be a reality for you? Something you can tangibly see and touch and feel? I want you to know that um, God is so good. I want you to know that um, I just got a text. I'm just be honest. I got a text that just threw me off. It just completely threw off my train of thought. This is why we need to be in the moment and not be distracted. But I want you to understand that you're not just supposed to be, you're not supposed to be average. You're not supposed to be normal. You're not supposed to be able to blend into the crowd. And I think that's why many of us have a fear of flying. We have a fear of standing out. We have a fear of being the neon highlighter in a world full of black sharpies. We really have a fear of being the rainbow in the sky. And the Negro spiritual that Maya Angelou is so popularly known for quoting, when it looks like the sun isn't gonna shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the sky. Why do we get a rainbow? The rainbow is reflecting the sunlight off of the water that was left after the rain. And what happens is it creates this beautiful, this the what is it called, the spectrum, creates this beautiful spectrum, this beautiful rainbow. And many of us are afraid to have the rain come down in our lives, but we don't realize that we will never get the perspective of a beautiful spectrum of what rain does in our lives if we don't get it. And your fear of flying, your fear of jumping, your fear of doing whatever it is that you need to do is really holding you back from taking off. I think about how the eagle stirs the nest. I love this example. I love hearing people talk about it. There's so many things that I have that I'm going to study. I'm going to study the eagle. I'm going to study the lion. I'm going to study marriage in more depth and just understanding relationship. It's so many things. But one thing I think is amazing about the eagle is the eagle stirs the nest to get the babies out of the nest. So when the eagle first is preparing for the eggs to hatch, it makes sure that the nest is very comfortable. It makes sure that the nest is lined properly so that the babies can be comfortable and they can grow. Because to be honest, in order for us to grow, a lot of times we do need a nurturing, warm environment. That's why many of us are messed up. Because even and I don't have a better term to use, but you feel messed up in your spirit. Maybe I do. I'm gonna work on expanding my vocabulary, definitely not a sanguine temperament that many of us didn't come up in sanguine environments. Our word of the day, environments that were cheerful and optimistic. Many of us came up in very pessimistic, negative environments. So that already hindered our ability. Well, it didn't hinder it, but it often hindered or altered our ability to think positive and to expect better things for us. But back to the eagle and the nest. So the babies are born in this comfortable environment. And then as they grow and they get older, what the mother does is she starts to pull some of the comfort out. She pulls the down, the feathers out, the padding that's keeping them comfortable to the point that as they move around the nest, they're not comfortable anymore. As they move around the nest, now the branches that made the nest are starting to stick them. They're not able to lay and wait for the mom to come the way they were. But she's doing this for a reason. Why is she doing this? She's doing this because she's preparing them to fly. But she knows that they will not fly unless they're in an uncomfortable situation. If she allows that nest to stay comfortable, those babies are not going to fly. Those eaglets are not going to grow and do what it is that they need to do to soar, to rule over their domain, to reign, because that's what eagles do. They fly above all the rest of the birds. They fly above storms. They don't travel in packs. Every time they're connected with other eagles, it is intentional, it is strategic. And I feel like you're afraid to fly, but if you be honest, the nest has been stirred. You're not comfortable where you are. That's why the whole tug of war that you're going through right now within your spirit of flying is so great, because you know where you are right now is already uncomfortable. Why not fly? Do you know that that nest can get so uncomfortable? If you stay in there, it could be your demise. Those babies need to get out of that nest to live properly. Those babies have to fly, but those babies will not fly until they are stirred, until that comfortable environment has been made uncomfortable. And I feel like there are many of us that are in uncomfortable situations right now where God is stirring us. He is asking for more from us than we think that we can give. Those babies have never flied before, but now the mother is stirring them to get out the nest. Get out, get out, get out. She knows that when faced with that situation, she knows what they're going to do. They're going to fly. They don't know because they've never done it. They don't know because they're being put in a situation that's foreign to them, that's new to them. They've never done that. They've never flown before, but they know they got to get out of this nest. Is your fear of flying holding you back? Is your fear of flying going to keep you to where you rot in the nest? See, some of you can't do what you need to do because you're too busy trying to make sure that your family still appreciates you. And you fly right below the radar because you don't want to make your cousins uncomfortable. You don't want to make your aunts and uncles uncomfortable. You don't want to make your grandmother uncomfortable. Let me tell you something, baby. It's time to fly. You have to be odd to be number one. Eagles do not travel in packs. You are an eagle. It is time to fly. And if you don't fly, you're going to die in that nest. And you can't blame anybody else but yourself. But I'm afraid, Adelaide. I know you're afraid. I'm afraid. I'm nervous every morning I go to get on the air, but I do it because it's greater than me. I fly every day. I hit Mike is live. I fly. Do I bump? Of course I bump. Do I fall? Yes. Y'all hear it a lot. Sometimes, I mean, all kind of things have happened. Even earlier this morning, I messed up with the songs I was playing. I think I did it twice. But that, but you have to be will higher. You have to be willing to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and intentionally do it and get there and be mad. Why did I do this to myself? Because I know I need to grow. The nest has been stirred. Are you going to fly? Or are you going to die in it? The choice is yours. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration. Man, time flies when you're having fun. This is Heart Talk on Heart Connections. Make sure to pre-order your copy of the new book. Help save me from my broken heart at theheartconnections.com. In the meantime, let's let Shobharaka help us out with this. Higher love. Because that's how we fly. We embrace that higher love that comes only from Jesus Christ. We'll be back with more after this. Make sure you guys stick around. High five.